So I have kind of like a love-hate relationship with getting scared, right? You know, I love to be scared, but I also hate not being able to sleep at night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I realize it's been a while since I've done a reaction. So today we're looking at top 10 scary stories that are real. So, you know, like in movies, whatever, you watch a scary movie and at the end it goes based on true events, and that's when you get the chills. Hopefully we get that today. And hopefully I can sleep tomorrow. But we're gonna see how this goes. Alright.
They're made up, they're not real. But you know what is terrifying? Scary things that really did happen. They say the truth hurts, but I think it can also scare you silly. So let's get into our top 10 scary stories that are real. Coming in number 10, we have the woman in the cupboard. And this one is really strange, really odd. In 2000, a man in Japan...
Off the rip, I'm just gonna say right now that if I found a woman in my cupboard, I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to spaz out, like, cause she has to be here for only one reason, right? You know what I'm saying? Me.
I don't know.
Japan became suspicious when food started disappearing from his apartment. So the man decided to set up cameras all around the place in the hope of catching whoever was doing this. When he got home the next day, he looked at the camera footage and he was very creeped out to see a woman walking around his house. He thought she was a burglar and she'd just come to steal some stuff when he was out, and so he rang the police. But when officers searched the place, they found the 58-year-old woman hiding in the top of a cupboard designed to store bedding and mattresses. What? This was just enough room for her to lie down, and she had been living in the cupboard the whole time, lying there perfectly still in the dark, just meters away from him, waiting for him to leave so she could use the house as if it were her own.
Okay, people are crazy. People are absolutely insane, because how long was she in that bitch, right? You know, like, I can actually see like a non like crackhead person doing that, you know, like they're just homeless or like they're down bad. Like, that's a big finesse, you know what I mean? You're eating for free, living for free, but you can't move for like 20 hours a day. That don't sound like a good deal to me.
About you guys, but I think I'm going to do a quick check of every single cupboard in my house when I get home, and by quick I mean 10. Ready for those with a delicate stomach, so look away if that's you. In the early 2000s, Armin visited a little known website called the Cannibal Cafe. He posted a list looking for a well-built 18 to 25-year-old to be slaughtered and then consumed. His words, not mine. Yeah, normally young adults want good jobs, they want to travel, maybe find a partner and be slaughtered and then consumed. Apparently. Amazingly, a few people actually replied and then backed out, presumably when they realized it was insane. But one man, Bernard Brandes, actually went to Armin's house. They then made a video of Armin cutting off his penis. He then tried to cook it and eat it, but it got burnt apparently, so he fed it to his dog. This happened. As Brandes bled to death in the bathtub, Armin gave him alcohol and 20 sleeping pills and then read a Star Trek book for 3 hours. He then kissed him.
Okay, so he wanted a 25-year-old man to essentially, he wanted to kill them and eat them. So this guy was like, you know what, I don't need a dick, here, take it. You know, it's for free. Whatever, chops his dick off. What did he think was gonna happen? Of course he's gonna start bleeding out. The fuck? Wait, whoa. If I got my dick cut off,
I'm gonna have to stop you right there, Bob.
Shit is creepy.
And then killed him and then froze the flesh for 10 months while he lived off it and ground the bones into flour. Amazingly, he was only caught when he posted online the following year looking for his next meal and victim and bragged about what had happened before. He is now serving life in prison. Moving on to number 8 now, we have the Silent Twins. Jennifer and June, the Gibbons twins from the UK, were known as the Silent Twins because they only ever talked to each other. Their sisterly love, and then there was this. The girls were absolutely obsessed with each other and gradually began to shun the community around them, who were not very welcoming to the girls. Eventually, they developed their own language and started communicating and committing crimes together, such as arson. This led them to be committed to a mental health institution for 14 years. June later said the whole thing went too far, and although we longed to be normal, we couldn't break out. It was too late, we were twins, but our personalities clashed. She wrote in her diary that her sister was a dark shadow, robbing her of sunlight. Now, psychologists deemed them deeply disturbed, and the girls felt so trapped, they said the only way that one of them could lead a normal life was if the other one died and freed them. The day after they were released from the institution, Jennifer died from a rare heart inflammation. June began to speak to others and went on to live a normal life for the first time. She wrote,
"That is creepy as hell." No, that shit actually did give me chills, because that sounds like some supernatural shit, like they're cursed or something, right? Like there can only be one of them. Do y'all know any like twins at all? I know like one set of twins, they do everything together. But they're not weird or nothing. They're not weird. They're not weird. They just, I guess, you know, if I'm going somewhere that I'm kind of iffy about, let me bring my sisters. We're the same age, like doing the same stuff. We're both fun. I mean, might as well. It's like that kind of thing. But with them, oh, you got me fucked up, bro. I keep looking behind me because I'm kind of scared. You know what I mean? Also, I got new lighting. Leave a like if you like my lighting. Leave a like.
The epitaph on her sister's gravestone that read, "We once were two, we two made one. We no more two, through life be one. Rest in peace." Creepy. Coming at number 7, I'm Watching You. In 2015, a woman called Chelsea Clark from Toronto was watching movies in bed with her boyfriend. The next day, after work, she logged into her Facebook account and saw that she had a message from someone she didn't know. Now, Chelsea thought this was quite strange because her settings didn't allow messages from strangers. The message was titled, "Really Cute Couple." Chelsea
what the hell?
The guy with his profile picture as the Joker had sent pictures of her and her boyfriend in bed the night before to her. The account was deleted soon after, and police investigations have made no leads at the moment. So, next time you're watching something on your laptop, guys, maybe your tablet or your phone at night, someone could be watching right back at you.
How? Motherfucker, how? Tell me how. I want to know how. Like, look, I have a webcam right there, right? But it's not connected to the internet. Right? I mean, bro, that is creepy as hell. People are creepy. And the thing is, too, like, stories like these, why did they get chosen? Like, what? Out of all the computers in the world, it was them.
The Cemetery Clown. In 2015, Julie Graham and her husband were driving past Rose Hill Cemetery at night when they spotted a figure climbing over the cemetery gate. They captured this picture, but it wasn't until they looped back around that they realized it was a clown. They tried to get a bit closer for a better look, and that's when they saw him standing alone in the middle of the gravestones, slowly waving at them. And yes, that is the creepiest looking wave of all time.
Yeah, well,
he didn't seem scared or bothered by them at all, but before the couple could even understand what was going on, the clown slowly turned around and walked into the darkness of the cemetery. Now, when police investigated all of this the next day, they found no signs of vandalism or disturbance in the graveyard, leading many people to wonder what the cemetery clown was doing that night and if he's going to be seen again. Coming to number 5 now,
he just
we
wanted to
have
scare
the children.
people.
In the 90s, respected journalist Brian Bethel shared a story that changed his and many opinions on the paranormal. One evening, Brian said he was parked outside of a local movie theater and filling out a check for someone. Then he looked up to see 2 boys standing next to the car in the darkness, no more than 10 or 12 years old. Now, before they even spoke, Brian said he was gripped with fear. He couldn't explain why, and that it was just incomprehensible and soul-racking. Only one of the boys spoke, and they said they wanted to see a movie, but they had left their money at home and asked if Brian could give them a ride back to get their money. Now, Brian avoided looking at them because of the fear and instead looked up to see that the last show had already started and there was no way they'd make it back in time. The boy said it wouldn't take long. He said they were just 2 little kids. He said they didn't have a gun or anything. Now, that last sentence scared Brian the most, and as the feeling of terror consumed him, he realized his hand was already moving to unlock the door. That's when he looked up to see their eyes. They were deep, cold black. Brian quickly made his excuses, but as he tried to drive away, the kid started banging on the window and said,
"We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in."
But that was the one that gave me the most chills.
This doll was given to a boy, Eugene Otto, in 1904 by a Jamaican woman who worked with the family, who was supposedly a practicer of black magic and voodoo. She had supposedly cursed the doll because she was unhappy with how the family had treated her, and they soon reported hearing conversations between Eugene and Robert the doll. At night, his parents would hear Eugene scream, and when they
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Find the furniture around Robert.
My whole entire floor just shook. Well, obviously someone just shut the door, but that shit scared the fuck out of me.
Have been thrown around. When the family left to go on trips, the neighbors reported seeing Robert move from window to window of the house, and they would sometimes hear the doll let out a terrifying cackle. Over time, the house was sold on to a new family, but the doll remained there. The new owner, a 10-year-old girl, also screamed in the night and claimed that Robert would move, and that one time he even tried to attack her. These days, he sits in the Fort East Martello Museum in Florida and was the inspiration for the horror movie Child's Play. Moving on to number 3 now, we have Murder Castle. In 1886, pharmacist H.H. Holmes bought a number of properties in Chicago that left him owning an entire city block. He began renovating them into a hotel. He would hire some workers for one part and others for a different area, so nobody really knew the full extent of the hotel's layout. It was finished just in time for the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, where people from all over the world descended on the city. But this wasn't a normal hotel. Almost every part of it was some sort of torture chamber. For most of that year, he trapped unsuspecting guests in their rooms to kill them. There were gas chambers and also rooms to suffocate people or starve them to death, as well as
Okay, but how? How do you figure out how to do this stuff? Bro had to be a scientist and then a part-time murderer, like, you know what I mean? And then also, no one's gonna suspect anything when they're working on this building. Like, what? And there's no way he did it by himself too if it was that big. Also, there's a game on this that I saw Jacksepticeye play, so I pretty much know about this one.
a hanging room. I'm not even sure what a hanging room means, but sounds pretty nasty. The whole building was designed to confuse the victims and give them a false sense of hope. There were staircases that led to absolutely nowhere and doors that were totally bricked off. Once they were dead, Holmes disposed of the bodies through a specially designed chute to dump them into the basement and then incinerate them in huge furnaces. He is known as America's first serial killer. Moving on to number 2, we have the real Leatherface. This is a story that inspired the movies Psycho, Silence of the Lambs. So, what real life story could produce such horror? It's the story of Ed Gein. This man had a disturbed obsession with his own mother, who had raised him during the earlier 20th century, with strict religious teachings about the sins of lust and desire. Now, after she died in 1945, Ed began to spiral into the life of a serial killer. At first, he would dig up bodies of recently buried females and cut off their body parts to keep as trophies before placing them back in the graves. Then he stepped up and began a killing spree before police finally caught him. When they discovered the dismembered body of a woman in his farmhouse shed, investigators were also horrified by what else they found. A freshly cooked human heart was on the stove, ready to be eaten. He made drinking bowls out of their skulls, and the creepiest thing, I think, was what he had done with his victims' skin. He used them to make furniture, face masks, and women's clothes out of women's skin. I know the horror movie classics were inspired by this, but yeah, they can't really touch on how creepy this really was.
Yeah,
and finally, at number 1, we have the death of Elisa Lam.
Oh,
Elisa was a 21-year-old Canadian woman who was visiting LA in 2013. She stayed at the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA and had been calling her parents every single day on her visit. But then on January 31st, the calls suddenly stopped, and her worried parents reported her missing to the police. She seemed to have just vanished out of nowhere. Then on February 14th, the police released this video of her behaving very erratically in the hotel elevator. She seemed to exit and then re-enter, and then started making some sort of gesture to something in the hallway outside. At one point, she simply crouches as if to hide from whatever is out there. Eventually, guests of the hotel started complaining about the water, saying it was black, foul tasting, and had low pressure. Now, Now, when staff went to investigate the water tank on the roof of the hotel, they found Elisa Lam's decomposing body.
What
That's
the hell?
why the water was black. Oh God. The police don't know how she got onto the roof, which was locked and alarmed, or how she got into the tank and then replaced the lid from the inside, or what was going on in that elevator. Something really creepy.
So there was only cameras in the elevator. It's crazy.
Supernatural in nature, that Elisa was actually possessed. Millions of people have now watched the infamous elevator video, and many people say something about it is very, very disturbing. Will it ever be some lethal combination of...
Okay, now why the hell would I watch this on a Wednesday? Oh my God. I'm about to go to Wednesday service, bro. So I won't be sleeping. And if you won't be sleeping either, leave a like on this video. It's been your boy Blackie Chen, and peace. Also, I was really creeped out near the end, bro. Like the first like 5 or so were just like cool, casual, but then the last half was like pure like what's the word? Like not spiritual, but like
Today, Junior?
Extra paranormal. It was paranormal. Yeah. But your boy Blackie Chen, leave a like, subscribe, peace.